Hey there, you guys. My name's Nicole Miller. Here I am in front of our school. As Jamie and I mentioned, we do work at the same school. I've worked here about 2 years and have taught grades 1 through 6. We're not in a situation where we have a lot of technology readily available to us in the classroom. And I was just recently given a small group of students whose English abilities were far greater than those of their peers. We work in the library, and I got special permission for the students to bring all their technology to school, and kind of started playing around with the stuff that I was studying through my master's program. So I wanted to just give you guys a little run through about the blog that I started in our classroom. This was a new tool for me, new for my kids as well. Many of these kids, they just use iPads for gaming. I'm going to go back to the beginning because the blog is newest to oldest. Started with just a brief introduction of each other, and that was a reflection from the closure of our previous project, as well as just kind of familiarizing ourselves with this digital tool. So we started out with just finding an article, inserting hyperlinks, really, really simple. They found their own articles on topics that they were interested in. We evaluated each other's resources and how credible they were, and then jumped into developing an essential question which would frame the rest of the semester's unit. We posted everything on this blog and documented everything. The blog has really changed the way the classroom is run, and I do a lot of the work up front. Posting the assignment, as you see here, this Padlet is a great example where I posted specific instructions on how to use a new digital tool. And then when students came into the classroom, I told them to go ahead and check the blog. I posted a new assignment, and then they were free to work independently. But because we sit together in a small group, it's actually a very much an interactive process where the kids are talking to each other. Did you see this? Have you seen that? I can walk around and help kids individually and really get a gauge for where they're at. We use Padlet to create a KWL chart, so I think a lot of you are probably familiar with that is. I won't brief you on that, but I was really impressed with how the kids just applied something that they were familiar with using these digital platforms, and Mike in particular really went wild. Along the way, we're giving each other feedback, posting comments, there's inner dialogue. I found the students were continuing to converse with each other outside of class. Sometimes the posts weren't always really relevant to the topic. Nonetheless, they are reading, writing, posting, and using digital tools to communicate with each other outside of class time. So in my book, this was all a success. We also used Padlet to create rubrics to shape the project. We had done rubrics for our previous unit, so they were familiar with what they were, but now I was asking them to use Padlet to create a digital version of that, and the kids really, really did a great job. Stella here wanted to color coordinate hers and make the boxes all the same size. Each of the kids' rubrics looks really different, and they gave each other feedback again in the comment section, so they were seeing different adaptations of using these two different skills. We're posting weekly reflections as well. What went well? What do you want to do? What did you learn? I also introduced Flipboard. The kids were just really doing well with Padlet. I felt like they were ready to start a new tool, so I found this one that was recommended by one of my peers in the master's program. It's just really a way to keep resources organized, but it's also a great platform, especially for kids, to find credible resources. So they can create these tabs at the top by category based on their interests, and then the site will automatically feed a bunch of relevant websites, relevant articles, most of which are pretty credible. And then they can organize those into their magazines so they can quickly go back and find the specific articles that they want to use later. Mike wanted another resource, so he went ahead and explored Pocket at my recommendation. I've never used technology like this in the classroom before, and it's been really exciting, and I feel like that is very much becoming part of who I am as a teacher, is using these digital tools to not only engage kids, but also to build a different set of skills that I think many of us would argue are really critical. That's a little bit about where I am. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have any comments, questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on Monday.